I'm Kirk Gastinger with Gastinger & Walker, and just as a sort of a simple little introduction before we get started with the visioning session, I just want to tell you how wonderful it was to be at the service this morning and hear all of the great presentations. And is Harper Trobe still in the audience? We'd like to have her write our stories. But all of them were fabulous and a real good introduction to getting to know you a little better. And I hope that through the session today that we get to know you even better, so that as we work through the process of creating a concept for your campus, that we can reflect your values and your interests and your needs over the next few months. We want to build on the vision that you started almost a year ago in working towards trying to create opportunities for growth and change here at All Souls. We want to help you transcend your thoughts and dreams into what we're best at, and that's drawing lines. So our words may not always fulfill the dream, but we hope that the lines will be able to. We're looking for your input, and it's going to be important for us to understand what your needs are in terms of enhancements to the campus, modifications, additions, repairs, all of those kinds of things that go into the campus here. Our work today is going to be focused on gathering information from you that's fresh and new, and from your individual sense of what we need. We want to build on the process from last October, and even though we want to have sort of the aspirational and the visionary aspects of what you're thinking of All Souls should be, the technical and the functional are important, but we'll get to those kinds of things like where are the light switches and how many outlets will we have. Things like that are good, but we're looking for the larger vision. Before I introduce the next stage, I was just finishing a book last week on, the title is The Architecture of Happiness, and written by Alan Baton, a psychologist. And one of his chapters is how do buildings speak to us, and what do they say? And it's kind of interesting if you can put yourselves in the category of a visitor or as a member, to think about All Souls and what about the architecture and what does it portray to you and to the community. These are the things that we'll be exploring with you over the next few months, and how to transcend your vision into the expression of the architecture. So with all of that, I'm going to introduce Amy Eckhoff. Amy is one of my business partners in our firm, and will be the principal in charge of the project and leading you through this first activity of the visioning session today. So, Amy.
Okay, thank you all for staying. I think the food helps a little bit, right? So this first section is just a little bit of a getting to know you section, and I think the service today was really so appropriate in talking about words, talking about the words that have meaning to you. So Kirk and Kevin are going to be handing out note cards, 2 different colors. And if you need pens, they've got pens as well, so you can steal a pen from them. The first thing is take that yellow card, and I want you to think about your personal relationship with All Souls over your life and your participation with All Souls. Think about that relationship, and on that yellow note card, I'd like you to write down 3 adjectives that describe that relationship. If you come up with more, that's fine. We won't scratch them out. But try to come up with at least 3 adjectives.
Describe what?
Your personal relationship with All Souls.
And this is the yellow.
This is the yellow card.
Three adjectives, yellow, right?
Yep, yellow, 3 adjectives. I won't confuse you by telling you the pink card yet, so focus on the yellow. We'll give you a few minutes to think about that.
If anybody gets shorted, just let me know. Let me get a pen.
If you're still working on that yellow card, then that's just fine, but I'm going to start to challenge you with the pink cards. On the pink card, I'd like you to try and recall your strongest memory about All Souls and consider what being a part of All Souls has taught you. Write this down on that second card, the pink card. Your strongest memory or what All Souls has taught you. It can be a word or a phrase. How's everyone doing?
Good.
We good?
Yeah.
All right.
Repeat the first one again, I'm sorry, I was reading out.
Sure, no problem at all. The first one, the yellow card, is to think about your personal relationship with All Souls and think of 3 adjectives that describe that relationship. And everyone who's ready to pass in those cards, we're going to collect those, and we're going to do an activity later with the task force. It's going to take all of those cards into consideration. If you need to hang on to it for longer and write it down later, we can collect it later as well. But then we'll move on to the next task, which is going to actually get you able to talk this time. This was the moment of silent reflection.
Do we need a pen after this?
No. So, can you pass me that?
Are we ready to do the
Got more here.
Well, these will be fantastic for help for us when we go to the committee session after this meeting today. Thank you all for that this input is really fantastic, so we'll be really anxious to read all the stories and listen to what you feel about All Souls. So the second activity that we're going to do, this is a little bit more active, and Amy and Kevin are going to do most of the writing on the board because, as you know, left-handers have a little bit of a hard time writing on vertical surfaces, but we'll still do it. Okay, so a little story is about how we gathered this next round of information from you today. It's kind of told in a story about 3 stonemasons. They were hard at work when a visitor approached them and asked them what they were doing. And the first one said, "Well, I'm cutting this stone." And the second one said, "Well, I'm building this wall." And the third, with a smile, said, "I am building a beautiful home that will house my children and my children's children." So it's an interesting perspective to think about what we're doing and why, and we like that story. So now what we're going to do is try to establish a broad vision for the project by gathering some information from you. And so if you want to speak up, raise your hand or stand up or even just shout out. We'll try to do it just one person at a time if we can. But we want to ask you a few questions and let you help fill in some blanks for us that will help in the next steps. We're going to do this for about the next half hour, if you have the energy for it. But I'm going to tell you what all three questions are, but then we're going to just concentrate on one at a time. But the first question is going to be, what is your favorite place when you're here at All Souls? Think about that. The second one is, what would be your largest obstacle to success at All Souls? What are the biggest hurdles? And then third question is, imagine yourself 5 to 10 years from now, and we're getting ready to have Harper write a headline for what's happened at All Souls. And what would that headline be? So, shall we go with the first question? And maybe someone can just get it started by telling us about where's your favorite place when you're here at All Souls?
We have a microphone if you would like to use that.
Standing with the choir and brag.
Standing with the choir and brag. That's really great. Yes?
In here, absorbing as much as I can. So it's this room.
Very good.
Standing in the choir and brag.
That's 5 votes for brag already.
In the library in discussion.
In the library?
In discussion.
Oh, in discussion. Good.
Political debate in Conover.
So this is really good. Another aspect of what how the answers are coming back is not only the place, but what activity is taking that causes that to be an interesting place. That's great.
Walking through the garden.
Yes, I love that. Don't you?
The bathroom.
Now, Corva, you're going to have to tell me more about that one.
On the lower level with the children.
You're getting all close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meeting and greeting in the lobby, the vestibule, whatever it's called.
Well, and you're a great greeter.
When I turn
The art
on,
gallery.
The art gallery? Great.
When I tour new visitors and I take them to the lower level, how their eyes shine up.
Cool.
Say that one again?
How the lower level, the children on the lower level? Yes.
In the kitchen, prepping meals for here or for restart.
Great.
Say that
Making
again.
meals for restart in the kitchen.
Hearing a good speaker at the forum here in Bragg.
The forum in Bragg.
Bragg in the garden.
Explain that a little bit more.
No, I just meant one place and another place.
Oh, Bragg and the garden. Okay, great.
Being on the patio, enjoying the outdoors, particularly during Peaceworks, Plaza Art Fair.
Enjoying the music, special music and things that we have.
The music program. Okay, great.
I like sitting in Bragg and looking at the textile hanging on the wall.
Isn't that the most beautiful piece?
I do like sitting in the lobby because I like to be exposed to the light and I can just watch what's happening, and then I get to see all these friends walk through the door. So I like the lobby best.
The lobby, okay. Great. Any other special places that really stand out? Yes.
I'm going to say 2 places. One is the library, excuse me, the library. And the second is the nursery.
The nursery.
Yeah.
What is it about the library that everyone finds special?
For me, it's, we have small group ministry there, and we have mostly like building your own theology and different classes that are just wonderful. And it is kind of a warm library.
Great. Now, I was just wondering, I hadn't heard anything about Simpson House, but does anyone have any special places about memories or?
My daughter's wedding reception at Simpson House.
Okay,
While the meeting room is not particularly in itself inspirational, what comes out of there, the plotting and planning and all the good deeds and all the good works and all the social justice action and things is wonderful.
Is that Conover or the meeting room? Okay.
Not the where are we meeting, not the library.
Another wedding plug for Simpson House. That's where my husband and I were married. Another plug for the library. It's warm, books, fireplace, nice tables set up where people can look at each other.
Intellectual challenge and perception and brag.
Great. Yes.
You would think that no one would mention Cono, because that is the place where people gather and talk and do many things. Where are these people?
I raised that earlier, political debate in Conover.
So there's some attraction there to Conover. Anyone else for this? Yeah.
Two places, the Simpson House, where we traditionally have done the Odysseys in the past, and the lobby out here with all the lights and the energy.
Great. Well, you can continue to add to this question, but I think we'll go ahead and go to the second question, and we'll just keep, layering is a good thing. So what would you see as some of the largest challenges to this next project, obstacles, the things that you think we need to make sure we overcome? And I think we'll have to do this one at a time because Amy and Kevin won't be able to write fast enough.
A really big obstacle, and this isn't you all's fault, is parking. In the summer when you get out there, your car is 140. In the winter, it's challenging just walking because of slickness.
Yeah, yeah. Is that quantity of parking or the distance?
Both.
Okay.
An obvious obstacle is money.
Yes, it always is.
Moving between the lobby and Conover, the narrowness of the hall.
Putting in an elevator.
Yes. Well, that's a challenge, that's for sure.
Raising the money.
So that's 3 votes for the.
Let's say about 100 votes for money.
Well, and that's where, I think during the process, we have to help you figure out how to prioritize your precious dollars, because it is very sensitive, and it'll be something that we want to make sure we're spending your dollars properly. So, yes. Oh, who has it? I'm sorry.
Stick with the mics, because you can't hear him back if you don't have a mic.
Okay.
For me, it's a challenge in here not having natural light.
In this space.
Adequate parking that is accessible, adequate parking, and access among spaces, both vertically and horizontally within the building.
Yeah, okay.
The risk of losing souls who are weary of hearing the call for money. Make sense?
Can you expand on that?
Well, I think some people may feel too encumbered by the maybe repeated
pleas for money to support the project and drift away.
Welcoming, the entryway needs to be more welcoming, more obvious that, we put the desk out there, but, you know, the main entryway needs to be reconfigured.
Energy sources and uses.
Sorry.
I'd like to...
Energy, who was saying that? I couldn't see your hand. Oh, okay, there's 3 mics floating around now, okay. Yes.
Expanding on the light issue, I would love to see some natural light in here. I can tell you, and you're going to know, because when you're up on stage, either in the choir or when I moderate, the light from the parking lot in my eyes is very annoying, and yet when I come into this room, I feel like it's very dark and enclosed, and I would like to feel more connected with the natural world beyond.
Well, I'm like you with painting. It's color moves towards the light, and I see the light out being up here, and I want to go out there. We get that one. Okay,
the office is sinking. You can hardly open some of the cabinets.
So I'd offer defining the physical vision of what All Souls is the challenge.
Defining physical vision, is that?
And can you expand on that a little bit?
Sure. Just a physical representation of what happens in this building from the outside, a physical representation of what's inspiring for us as a group on the inside. I think just the physicality of whatever solution you come up with is a big challenge.
Great. So I have a question. When we're speaking, since we have 3 of these are going around and it's hard for me to see who's speaking, could you stand up, and that way we'll be able to hear and see who's giving us a note. Thank you. Yeah.
One of our challenges will be working together as a community.
You just made our job a lot harder. We listen to everyone.
I think it will be challenging to incorporate a circle drive, as I had heard mentioned in one concept meeting, with our need for parking, and then also to incorporate a covered access, from what in my view would be a circle drive into the building. We do have a lot of seniors. We'll always have a lot of seniors. And then, of course, there are just simply families that should be let out closer to the building in bad weather.
So there's 2 parts to that. There's a covered entrance.
Circle drive, covered entrance.
Yeah, okay.
Parking.
I understand the plans have stages in what we would construct first and what we would construct second or third. No? Okay. It hasn't been determined. Good, because while we're talking about, it seems like it all needs to be done at the same time, because we have offices sinking and falling off into the sinkhole over here, but we also need a new music room all at the same time, so that's a challenge.
That will come out during the working over the next couple of months, trying to figure out if how the work coordinates and whether it needs to be prioritized and phased, or whether it can be done all at once. But that ends up relating to a lot of different things, like, well, 1, how much money we have to work with, and then 2 is how much interruption can you withstand? Actually, can you take a little bit at a time or all at once? Those will be good questions for us to resolve. Yeah. Okay.
Another challenge is, especially for greeters, when they're back here and the doors are closed and new people are coming in, but they're coming in late, so they want to talk a little bit out there, and that makes it really difficult because the noise level comes right in here. So you hear everything in here, so that's a bad thing.
Right here.
Yes.
A broader understanding of different kinds of accessibility needed, as well as places that people could lie down or rest as needed to make it through long sessions here.
Great.
This ties into the money that I said earlier, but our congregation needs more members. It's a big obstacle.
I think handicapped accessibility. A lot of people are not able to participate fully in activities or volunteer activities because they can't get up and down between floors.
Very good. There's very good. Yes.
Room for growth, not only in the congregation. At this point, our choir is full, but we'd like to welcome more people. Our choir room is jammed. We have a hard time getting more people in to rehearse. I'm hoping that by taking this big step, we're going to welcome a larger community, and I want to make sure that we have that room.
You have a friend, Anthony Edwards, has already bent my ear on this one.
He's my hero.
Mary?
Just the whole concept of coordination. There's a lot of pieces moving, balancing the capital campaign against the architectural planning, and also the fear that not moving ahead so fast that we get tied up in some things that aren't ready to be done yet. Getting the cart before the horse sort of type thing.
Yes, that's always a challenge because patience is a virtue in my mind, but sometimes you have to know when to move ahead and when to let things absorb, as you mentioned. Yes.
I think a better kitchen is one of our challenges. This congregation likes to eat like most groups do, so that's one of the challenges we face.
Great. Are we?
I think I have two more challenges. One of them is I think we need some kind of shower facilities when we do things like lock-ins and that type of a thing. And we've been a sanctuary in the past for when there's been storms and things like that. So having that kind of a thing. And if I can remember what my other one was, that would be really good. But I seem to be having a senior moment. I'll pass it and I'll get back to me.
That's fine. Most of us have been there.
I'd like to see integration of technology and looking into the future, and I'd like to be able to live stream a lot of the things that go on here and have an archive that can be looked up, and then some instruction on how to use it. Seriously, I mean,
sure.
Some folks are very tech savvy and others are a little scared, but still, and that might even have to do with the website we've got right now. You know, so many more things could happen if we knew
sure.
what we could even do with it. And then lead energy concerns for the future. I mean, I'd like anything we do here to be platinum league, you know.
Great, great.
I remembered.
Okay, good.
So reconciling what we want with what it comes down to and what we have to cut with the money. In the past, that's always been the elevator, and that's been really, really frustrating for those of us who keep advocating for accessibility. And so knowing that what the initial dream is not going to be what we get, but still getting what we need.
Thank you. Well, I think we'll move to the, oh, yes.
Bathrooms at the other end of the building.
That's a big challenge. Chris?
One more.
One more, and then we'll move to the third question.
Okay, I think it's a challenge to consider aesthetic aspects in our gallery as we change things so that it can be a place where art is really appreciated and there's the kind of space necessary to do that.
Great.
Kurt, could I add just maybe a couple thoughts?
Chris has a couple challenges. Do you think Chris knows anything about what's going on here?
Well, to me, the biggest challenge I always come back to is finding the center of gravity of this large group and all the ideas and interests. And so if we can accomplish or overcome that challenge, I think we'll do great things here. And then the second thing I was going to add is just developing an outward expression of our mission here at All Souls and some public visibility through our architecture.
Great. Well, we can still add on to these first two questions, but maybe we'll move to the headlines. So it's August 23rd, 2020. And what do you think the headlines should read or could read about what we've done together and what's been achieved? What do you think they should, how do you want the next generation to start seeing what you did? Well, Harper would have an answer right away.
But I'd like to see the headline say something like, All Souls just announces expansion of 2 locations.
Ranch All Souls.
Is that a mobile version with wheels?
I'd like to see more visibility and accessibility among the adults and the children in the space that we have.
So that's a physical visibility. Okay, so that's more like that's more in the category of a challenge. Okay, great. Butch?
Yeah, I see the integration of the arts, culture, and our humanism spreading through the community.
So the art and culture of All Souls comes together.
Right, as part of this whole environment, the beauty of the environment we have here already.
All Souls, beacon for social activism in Kansas City.
Oh, that's good.
And the headline I'd like to see is liberal state legislators from Kansas and Missouri attend conference at All Souls.
I think there is a limitation now with just the library, the meeting room, and Conover, say, for medium-sized groups to meet. And we have been able, in the past, to give outside groups a chance to flourish or interact when they couldn't find any other place they could go. So let's think about having a little more space that would be used for small and medium-sized groups, not just the big one.
Okay, great.
The headline I'd like to see is that All Souls is a vibrant, welcoming member of this community that is active in the arts, in human services, social services, where anybody feels, I guess, excited to walk in the door.
The doormat is open. Or the welcome mat is open. The welcome mat is open.
An example of that is we had an opportunity to be a part of the world's largest ceramics gathering, and we could not accept it because we do not have adequate facilities to actually protect art. Anyway, so I'd like to see that vehicle happen.
I'd like to see a headline that says, All Souls outgrows its renovated building.
All right.
All Souls Youth are leaders in national and international justice efforts.
Cool, that's great.
My headline would be Sustainable Church Building Accomplished.
Good. Good for you.
All Souls goes off the energy grid. Self-sufficient.
We're going to ask about looking at your energy bills over the last couple of years, especially since you added solar, how much they might have changed. So we definitely are interested in that.
I'd like the headline to say something like, All Souls new facility draws more diversity to the congregation.
That would be great. We would support that.
In terms of accomplishing all this, I would like us to be ready enough to welcome the National General Assembly, which is scheduled in Kansas City in 2018. And though we may have to make a little pause when they come, then we go in again. It's sort of a, let's have our best foot forward then and continue on.
You know, when the first Kansas Convention Center in Kansas City was built, they raised all the money in 90 days. Do you think? Some story like that? So that you could have it all ready by 2018.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Diverse congregation that increases involvement in community.
We have heard that kind of sentiment echoing through the visioning report, is that every step along the way is to increase your visibility with the community. And I think that's great. Anyone else? Here's one down here.
All Souls you.
Thank you. Just a minute.
All Souls UU grows to meet its service to its members and community.
Cool. That's great. How are we doing? Any other ideas that people would like to express? Or just,
One more?
okay, sure.
This is not a headline. This is a comment. I would like for everybody who said diverse or diversity to provide a definition so that we have sort of, kind of, maybe a place to work from if we're talking about a diverse congregation.
Well, it's always a very good point, because you can be talking about gender, race, age, ethnicity, economic status, education. There's a whole range of issues related to accessibility, diversity. So, in my mind, it needs to be inclusive of all of those areas of diversity. Okay. Well, this is all really great. Kevin and Amy have been writing like crazy. If you have some more energy left for today, we would like to just come down off the stage and just have a meet and greet, and you could stay as long as you like, and we just like to get to know you a little better, and any individual comments that you have are also very very helpful. So thank you so much for your time and energy. It's been really helpful.